Do you know the one habit that separates the most successful people from everyone else? Here's a clue. It's not talent or luck. It's something you can start doing today, but most people never stick to. Let me tell you a story about someone you probably know, Michael Jordan. Today, he's considered the greatest basketball player of all time. But most people forget how he started. In high school, he wasn't a star. In fact, he was cut from his varsity basketball team because his coach thought he wasn't good enough. Can you imagine how devastating that must have been? Most people would have quit right there. But not Michael. Instead, he made a decision, a small, consistent choice to show up every single day and work harder than everyone else. He practiced longer, ran faster, and pushed himself further even when no one was watching. Over time, those tiny, consistent efforts added up. And when he got his next chance, he was ready. That's the power of consistency. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's the reason he became a legend. Michael Jordan's story is inspiring, isn't it? But here's the thing. He's not the only one. Consistency has always been the silent force behind greatness. It's the one trait shared by the most successful people in the world. Let's look at another example. Someone whose work ethic and consistency changed the world forever. Now imagine this. You're working on an invention and you fail not once, not twice, but over 1,000 times. Would you keep going? Thomas Edison did. He's the man who gave us the light bulb, but most people forget how much failure came before his success. Edison famously said, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." But here's what most people miss. His success wasn't about being a genius. It was about showing up every day, trying, failing, and learning. Each experiment brought him closer to his goal. Consistency was his greatest invention, and it's the reason we can flip a switch and light up a room today. Just like Jordan on the court, Edison proved that talent is nothing without relentless effort. Edison's story is a reminder that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and continuing to push forward. But he wasn't the only one. Let me share another story, one that proves consistency isn't just for athletes or inventors. It can redefine what's possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, one of the best-selling book series of all time. Today, she's a billionaire and a household name. But her journey was anything but easy. Before she published her first book, Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. She wrote the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in cafes, pushing through rejection after rejection. In fact, she was turned down by 12 publishers who all said her story wouldn't sell. Most people would have stopped there thinking, maybe they're right, but not her. She kept writing, kept improving, and kept sending out her manuscript. And finally, one publisher gave her a chance. The rest is history. Her story reminds us that consistency isn't just about talent. It's about showing up, even when everything feels like it's against you. J.K. Rowling's story shows us how consistency can turn rejection into opportunity. But what if I told you that this same principle applies not just to writing or inventing, but to something as simple and as universal as personal growth? Let me share one last story that proves the power of persistence in redefining what's possible. Meet James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, a book that has transformed millions of lives. His journey started with a simple realization. Success doesn't come from massive effort or overnight miracles. It comes from improving by just 1% every day. Here's how it works. Imagine you're flying a plane. If you adjust your course by just 1%, you won't notice the change at first. But over time, that tiny adjustment will take you to a completely different destination. Clear applied this principle in his own life. After a life-threatening injury in high school, he rebuilt his strength and confidence, not through drastic measures, but through small, consistent habits. Whether it was writing, exercising, or building his career, Clear proved that small actions, repeated daily, create extraordinary results over time. His story reminds us that consistency isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things over and over again. So here's the truth. Consistency isn't flashy, and it rarely gets attention. But it's the one habit that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Whether you're chasing greatness like Michael Jordan, rewriting your story like J.K., or transforming your life 1% at a time like James Clear, the formula is always the same. Small, consistent actions, repeated over time, create extraordinary results. And here's the best part. You can start right now, because the only question that really matters is, where will your consistency take you?